Alright, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, talking with experience. So let's talk about what happened in the other video prior to this one. But as I was getting on the bus, the dude coming out, look again, using, I keep telling you, they always use the most vulnerable among the people in the society to engage in targeting. Why? Because they are easy to use, right? Particularly if they're homeless, or if they have any sort of mental injury, or both, right? If they have both, they will always use them to engage in the targeting and whatever subliminal message that they want to send, right? And like I said, it's usually the homeless theme or the mental illness theme at times, as well as other themes, financial, the loss of any sort of job or financial support, like my disability. So the guy, as soon as I'm getting on the bus now, you hear him talk about, Metro card, or push him in his, not Metro, what you said, Metro? No, debit card, right? Again, always sending these sort of subliminal messages. Again, that is what you call loaded language, right? And you'll hear these things, particularly TIs will hear people say these things because, again, it's orchestrated and it's to send these sort of subliminal message, right? Again, this is how these criminals engage in extortion, and not only extortion but theft of people's finances and so forth and so forth, right? This is a criminal organization, and they needed to have a serious investigation into law enforcement across this nation, right? These predator cops, predator police officers who engage in all sort of criminal act and getting members of the public to join along with them, because again, they're getting money out of it or something out of it. So yeah. Haven't been over here this early in a while. Like I said, I went to bed early, and like I said, I always know that installing Windows on that computer and the whole upgrade thing. We're gonna upgrade your microchip. Well, listen, I have multiple microchips over the 2.5 decades of being a TI, being targeted. They have upgraded that chip many times. How do I know? I would wake up in the morning, first thing I would do, touch my nose. And the pain would be so excruciating. Okay? And this happens a couple times over the past, like I said, 2.5 decades. Anyhow. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.